Well, think about who it's critical for. You've got GB68, you've got Tom97, and you've got Nagera, who are all in trouble right now on the outside looking in. Everybody wanted a banker lap down because of this scenario right here, right now, where it's raining and they're going to be losing that grip. And this lap is crucial for GB68 to improve. Right now, he's got to jump above a 10-0 to get to 60, but it's a 9-1 which he's got to beat, which is Gwatz at the moment in the McLaren. Nagera goes 13th fastest on an 8.7. I would say 8.7 now is the cutoff, and GB68 struggling down through Mahulo right now. Gonna need a hope and a prayer.
Oh dear, so difficult sliding the car through that final acceleration point. It's a straight line almost in towards now the start-finish line, keeping it tight-knit to the left-hand side. What's it going to be for GB68? It is a 1 minute 9.652, and in that drop zone, and with the rain pouring down and the track getting wetter and wetter, I'd see no opportunity for anyone in their bottom 5 to get themselves out of that drop zone, which means Gwatz, GB68, Mr. Dale, Jack Socials, and Tom97, I think the most crucially here, out of qualifying. Dale's already retired. Scott decides to call it quits in the pit lane, and I believe that Q1 is going to come to a very swift end now. Everyone's got to get across the line now. I believe the final driver who will get a lap underway is Infratic, struggling at the beginning of qualifying. Now notches in a 1-2 for Ferrari. A sensational run from him there. Who is up next to come across the line? That might be Unstop Rob, down on his previous best, and unfortunately coming into the pit lane will retire that car. We got Rikirikon coming across the line in the drop zone at the minute into P2, and currently safe into the next session. TM at Marduk across the line with a 15.117, the fastest in Q2 so far.
Yeah, that's brilliant, but still watch out for everybody else. Nagera's going to be next, and he is 14th at the moment. There is Elray Geary. He also wants to improve, so let's see what these two do. They're on the wrong side of it. Nagera goes 7th. Elray Geary goes fastest. Shafshow's managed to find his way out, so M-Sky-Z in trouble now. Tom on the bubble. Who was expecting Tom on the 16-2 to be in a little bit of trouble? Peya goes quickest. Nagera is now out here in Q2. Over the line goes Tom. He goes 5th. M-Sky-Z is out in Q2. F1 Scott needs to bail himself out here with this lap, and he goes 2nd fastest with that. So that puts Matty through, and Unstoppable Rob is out in qualifying because that guy Vince is there. Matty has done well, and Rasin Chai is also gone in qualifying. A topsy-turvy qualifying in a battle for the bottom. On the back, so there's going to be no real indicator there for Tiamat Marduk on how to go through. 113s we're seeing out there on the intermediates, which would indicate to me that as a banker, that's great, but we've got a crossover as Ben goes dancing over turns 1 and 2, trying to make sure he goes through that lap time, quite rightfully invalidated.
And if you're wondering where Peya went, he actually went back into the pit lane at the end of that lap. That guy Vince splits Tiamat Marduk and Safjo, and then Elray Geary, a disappointing 1 minute 18.4, and
he's on
you
soft.
can already see why. He's on a set with soft compound tyres. Very early call from the Spaniard here tonight. However, I don't think it's the wrong one. Maybe he's just a little bit early here. I'd say give it 5 minutes time, and then those soft tyres will be a lot better. And already, it's a cool-down lap, by the way. He's up by 2 seconds in that first sector. I think there was a critical error for the Aston Martin on that first lap, and that means Elray Geary has got a lot more pace in the bag.
Well, he's got to find 5.2 on Tiamat Marduk to move up into pole position as things stand, trying to dance there through the Pinarino in the middle sector, up the hill at the Vico de Pato. Drivers looking to try and straight line the pits as much as they can. That's Tiamat Marduk diving into the pit. So 5 seconds, the difference maker that we're seeing. 57.4 by Tom, who's hoping to get a banker lap down on the board. That guy Vince currently 2nd. Matty D13 currently in 3rd position. On board with Tom in the Alpine, making a run down into the pit. So not feeling confident there. And that's the sign that everyone's got to jump onto soft tyres. DRS has just been enabled. Well, this is where Shafsho is going to be a guinea pig marker for everybody else. Fastest middle sector. He's 3.3 seconds quicker than what he's looking at this moment in time. That will only improve on this straight because he's able to go full throttle. He's able to open up the DRS. He might actually be able to get one more lap after this one, should he so want it. Second fastest with that time on a 109.7. There's the checkered flag. So Tiamat Marduk, what have you got on this flyer? 4.4 seconds quicker. Massive kick of oversteer. Coming out of Junsao corner, climbing up the hill, trying to get a run here that puts him somewhere close enough with his qualifying time, and for the moment he'll cross and he'll go fastest on a 7.9.
Fantastic lap from Tiamat Marduk, but there is 9 angry cars behind him putting in their laps. F1 Scott goes to the very top of qualifying. Let's have a look in at El Rey Giri, quickest in Q1. Of course, on that set of the soft compound tyres, now 9th in Q3. No one displacing Scott at the minute. Tom will be ahead of the Aston Martin. Coming to the line, Tom is second. Is it pole for El Rey Giri? Indeed it is, by 0.3 of a second. El Rey Giri on pole position here in Sao Paulo. The best conditions available to him and the best lap time out of anyone that we have seen today. The championship leader is really stamping his claim to this Interlagos circuit, the Fan Vote Grand Prix. 71 laps approach us here in Sao Paulo. The Fan Vote Grand Prix is underway here in Sao Paulo, and it looks to be a good getaway from El Rey Giri. An even better one from F1 Scott, diving up the inside in towards that first corner on his set of the soft compound of tyre. Tiamat Marduk and Tom side by side as they head through the centre S's. Everyone looks to be clean through the first part of the lap, but it's F1 Scott jumping El Rey Giri with the faster compound of tyre, getting himself into the lead at the end of the first sector.
That was a perfect start by F1 Scott. He couldn't have asked for anything better there against El Rey Giri. Tiamat Marduk unable to make some progress, so we've still got some side-by-side there. One thing to note, that medium tyre would be difficult off the start. Round goes Shafso on a half spin, and somehow everyone avoids it. No! Williams goes around, that's Jack Socials. You look behind at Tiamat Marduk now third. He's thinking about, how do I start whittling the points gap away, moving over to the inside. He's going to have to go all the way to try and make this happen on El Rey Giri. No doubt about it. Tiamat Marduk is committed. Ben Daly will do that, Daly. Here comes Tom on the outside.
Tom around the outside of El Rey Giri. I think the Aston Martin is just about going to fend off the attack for the time being. Rikirikon finds himself in the fray as well, and that is where the experience comes into play when you're in these high pressure situations.
But this is where it gets interesting if you are F1 Scott and you are Tom, because you are on soft tyres, you have to pit first. There's no other way to look about it, as there goes Tiamat Marduk down the inside to the race lead and just about covers it off in such a way that El Rey Giri will scamper on through into second position. No room at the in-between them as they find themselves through. In comes F1 Scott, just 12 laps then on the soft tyres. These hot conditions, I think, are really telling to today's race, and F1 Scott's going to have a lot of work to do. There's his teammate M-Sky Z with a little bit of contact and very nearly emphatic. Finds himself turned around. Peya running around the outside is going to pick up one for his troubles, potentially on the run down to the Esquina de Lago, but emphatic battles back with aplomb. Brilliantly done there to go through unscathed, and now find himself trying to chase down the group in front. There goes Unstoppable Rob into fifth. There goes El Rey up into the race lead. Rikirikon following now into second. What a showcase from the reserve driver. Rikirikon, I think, is making a huge claim here to not just be a reserve, but to try and take a full-time seat.
To the leaders. Speaking of the leaders, El Rey Giri comes into the box. Rikirikon and Tiamat Marduk doing battle for the lead. That is an earlier stop for El Rey Giri in comparison to his rivals. No one really in that top 10 who haven't pitted yet.
Tyres at this point, because it's looking like there's only 6 laps difference here between the softs and the mediums at this point, and Tiamat Marduk will lose the lead to Tom 97, who in 20 laps of racing has gone from last to first.
Here in Creator Series, Matty D is the first retirement of the day. That's in the pit lane, and so there's no need for a safety car whatsoever. We're still waiting on that elusive safety car.
Look at this though, 1, 2, 3, 4 in 5 formation, 10 seconds for Tiamat Marduk for speeding in the pit. That's a dagger.
right into his heart. TMF Marduk, a fantastic race from him today so far, and it's all been undone by ever so slightly speeding into the pit lane there, way and a ways behind the leaders of now El Rey Guri and Rikirikon. But they're going to be getting, all of these drivers by the way, they're going to be getting intel that TMF Marduk has a 10-second time penalty, and if he stops again in this Grand Prix, Jake, which on the hard tyres he could try and take them to the end. He's done mediums for 32 laps as he's fighting it out with Pirya. I think the last 40 or so is probably possible.
That's the next key. Gwot has retired the car. He's pulled it into the pits and said, I'm not getting anything out of this. I'm going to retire it. So we're down to 18 runners here. But that is a huge moment in the context of this race, because all of these drivers now are looking around at everyone else going, well, if there's rain in 10 minutes, we're going to get our socks on and hurry up. Well, he's looking now at Ferradura. He's thinking, well, every single place I can. That guy Vince is going defensive. There's the lunge. Jesse is the corner he's going to try and get it at, but he's now going to go the long way around the Pinarino. He will get the inside for the Bica de Pato. Look at the traction difference there, and that is as easy as you like from Tom 97, who's now going to have a Tom-on-Tom battle coming up next, and El Rey Giri and Rikirikon will realise that there's going to be two drivers they did not want to see right now in this group. That go a little bit of a wiggle up the hill from that guy Vince, and TMF Marduk is surely soon to follow and will do.
Oh, I'd say Rikirikon, El Rey Guri, they're all going to be begging for the rain to come as soon as possible. Tom 97 is through on Tom. That's Felipe Massa, Felipe Nasser type of battle that we've just witnessed there.
Out there, Nogueira's going to be the one who struggled, but look at this for the race lead off the circuit, trying to find the pass. Tom will take 3 seconds of time penalty, trying to get around the long way.
Go for the lead as soon as he can. Oh dear, almost into the back now of Rikirikon, really throwing the car into this corner down the inside of Pinarino, forces his way through on the inside. Tom 97, a very costly error. I don't know if that one can be contested.
Go, why did I try? Now he'll go for the race lead, and he'll need to run away to the tune of 3 seconds to El Rey Giri now to win this race outright. Down the inside, TMF Marduk will hold the position against Rikirikon, and soon, I would say within the next 3 laps, we are due some rain, and we are due a showcase once more for what will be the final third. Look, you know you lose half a second on the straight, and look at that. 2 lots of DRS, he was almost at 8-9 tenths of a second, and about 5 corners later, he's lost the move. So that there is TMF Marduk showing just how on top of it you need to be. Rain on it, Rikirikon dives down into the pits then, so he's the first taker, and is this a bit too early by the Haas driver here? This is going to be a real gamble in terms of what tyres. Now, we're going to see what he does. He pulls into the final pit box. What is he pulling himself onto right now? The answer is a set of mediums. That is interesting.
Really struggling to keep up with Tom 97 and TMF Marduk. He'll have to put on a worldie of a performance. Curbs has retired. That's out on circuit. Safety car has been deployed on lap number 54 of 71. Let's have a look at one of the Ferraris of Infratix. See if we can see the damage to the Williams. There's his tyre completely off the car. I don't even see the Williams. I think it's despawned by now.
All these drivers now who are out there on tyres which are not intermediates will definitely dive in, and now this becomes a free pit stop in the context of what they're looking for. So wonderfully constructed here. Now's the question of who gains what in this pit cycle.
Can you serve a penalty under the safety car? Yes, you can.
Yes.
TMF Marduk being held. That 10-second time penalty is now going to be taken off of him. Is he going to be able to come out ahead of El Rey Giri? It doesn't look like it, so he'll at least be behind El Rey. But 4th position for TMF Marduk, pretty damn good here.
It's at the discretion of Tom at 97. Unstopped Rob desperately alongside, trying to get the launch, trying to get the jump over the top of him at this stage. Is this going to be where this race opens up? Tom 97 goes, Unstopped Rob can't overtake until he passes the line. We're back running here on lap 57. It's close as they run in towards turn 1, but there's no dices in terms of the moves. That guy Vincent Rikirikon back there, having a little bit of a scrap there for position. There goes Rikirikon, he moves through.
safety car is still appearing at the top of our screens. We are in fact green flag racing here, back into Lagos. Tom 97 already trying to pull that gap to stop Rob. Can he do it in the last 12, 13 or so laps in this race? I think we'll definitely be liking the fact that El Rey Guri's on the offensive down the inside of Unstopped Rob. Little bit of contact between the pair of them. El Rey Guri got that ever so slightly wrong on the back of the Mercedes, who will feel very hard done by losing that position. TMF Marduk, all he could do was watch that unfold, and already some gutsy racing from these guys, we'll call it. Absolutely, I mean, the battling here between Unstopped Rob and El Rey Guri is providing us with an absolute treat here around the outside. Unstopped Rob still cannot find that move, and oh dear, down the inside now, in towards the first part of the center S's, through now curve at El Sol. Finally shouts Unstopped Rob. He has made up that position, but it's not over yet, because here comes El Rey Guri looking towards the outside line and towards turn number 4. TMF Marduk with the best seat in the house. El Rey Guri around the outside of Unstopped Rob, almost off the circuit. Contact now with TMF Marduk, slides his way in through the corners. How has he kept that on the road? TMF Marduk through on El Rey Guri, now down into 4th. TMF Marduk on the back of Unstopped Rob. This might be a last lap bout between the pair of them. GB has made his way up into 7th ahead of Rikirikon. Here's TMF Marduk around the outside potentially of Unstopped Rob, and towards Ferradura, drifting their way in towards the next corner of SA. And I think TMF Marduk, he's got the inside line. He'll be around the outside of Pinarino corner. Sensational racing. In comes El Rey Guri through once again.
Gary, there's contact again. Both of them up the hill, up in the beacon of Pato. He'll force him off, and through will go Tom, who's come from nowhere. Nagara now will try and go around the outside. Suddenly, there's 2 places in between at this moment in time. TMF Marduk, it is absolutely pouring as they head towards the final lap. But TMF Marduk looks behind, and he is desperate for these places. Tom is his best friend, or could be his worst enemy here at this stage, because he could go for the move down into turn 1, a look for it on the inside, and he'll go for it because he's a racing driver, but he gets held up through the corner. Ben is planting the car in all the right places. He's got green fingers right now on this track, on the final lap, and here goes El Rey Guri. He needs to clear this space. He needs to get past Tom, and with contact between them, he goes sliding, and he'll lose 2 for trouble.
In comes Nagara now, oh my word! Tom almost off the circuit, they're sliding their way. It's like the Piston Cup finale here in Creator Series. How have all of these drivers kept the car on the road? Absolutely sensational driving here this evening, and while second all the way down to 5th have been scrapping it out, one man has had the easiest job of the night. Tom 97 with a 3-second time penalty to his name. He does not care about that anymore. 8.7 seconds clear of Unstopped Rob. He will come through now the straight for the final time in this race. Tom 97 will win from last on the grid. A fantastic and emphatic, a sensational worldly drive from Tom 97. Unstopped Rob will come across in P2. TMF Marduk in 3rd. 4th is Tom. Nagara in 5th. 6th for El Rey Guri. But all eyes have got to be on Tom 97 from last on the grid, right in 20th position. We thought it was out of the question for him to take the win today, but you should never doubt Tom 97 on a last to first challenge.